I think it's really interesting hearing, like, the perspective of someone who loves it from, like, a newly watch, whereas, like, for me, I feel like it's a big, like, nostalgia watch for me, because it, like, reminds me of when I first kind of got into it, and it's crazy that it can, like, still hold up as, like, good content for someone who, like, has just recently found it, like,
yeah,
it has aged well, I think.
I agree.
It's like one of my comfort shows. I watch it, like, all the time at home. I'll just put it on in the background and
Right.
do
Yeah,
stuff to it.
it's good. I feel like, I don't know if you guys do this, but, like, I mean, for me, I'm about to reread the whole series and rewatch it this summer, but, do you guys, like, ever, like, I do, like, an annual rewatch of the Harry Potter.
Definitely.
Like, I will, like, every once in a while, like, go back and be like, oh, I'll watch all the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
I feel like that's what I'm gonna do with the Hunger Games.
It's a little bit easier with the Hunger Games, too, since it's a little shorter. You can, like, kind of swallow it a
agree.
little better.
I agree. There's, like, 8 movies in Harry Potter?
What specifically do you like about this movie?
I just really enjoy. Well, okay, I think Jennifer Lawrence is, like, my new favorite actor. She is hilarious.
Yeah.
I know she's not necessarily hilarious in this movie because she's definitely playing a different role, which I think is something that you can appreciate so much about her ability to do that. But I don't know what it is, but I just, like, I feel like because it's almost like it's so relatable, but at the same time, you hope that it's not relatable. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know. And I'm Team PETA. Big Team PETA fan over here, not
Absolutely.
the Prim Reaper. And I love their love story.
They got chemistry.
I'm obsessed with it.
It's definitely unconventional. You know, at first you're like, who is this kid? But
yeah, for real.
it works out for them.
No, honestly. Well, I mean,
Kind of.
kind of sad. Well, she's got, you know what, as much as I'm Team PETA, I'm also like, you know what, Katniss has bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, she's busy.
She's got other things, you know,
Like,
taking
you don't
down
like
a hole.
me? It's like, she's kind of leading a revolution here, man, so maybe give her some space.
Oh, that's so true.
I find it really interesting how the book is, you know, following Katniss's train of thought, and the movie adaptation, we have to go in there and then, you know, they can't just tell us every thought she has, so we have to figure it out for ourselves. And that's, I think, the biggest difference between the book and the movie. How do you feel about, like, how they managed that?
Yeah, that's funny because I actually just wrote an essay about the book to film adaptation.
No way.
And my main theme was trust. And I specifically focused on the trust building between Katniss and PETA. And one of my main observations was, and you okay over there? One of my main, one of my key points was that in the book, you have Katniss's inner monologues. So one of the main points in my essay was actually focused on Katniss's inner monologue and how you have the opportunity to see that internal battle with Katniss and her deciding whether or not she can trust PETA or not. And in the movie, you don't have that because there's no way to kind of include that internal monologue. You could do a voiceover, but that's always awkward. And the only way you kind of get it is through dialogue. But I just think the way it's shifted it, instead of in the book you're reading it and you're like, okay, does Katniss trust PETA or not? Whereas in the movie, it's more of, as an audience, you're like, do I trust PETA or not? Because you don't see Katniss's internal, and you're like, obviously Katniss is the main character, so you're on her side, so you're like, okay, do I trust PETA or not? Can Katniss trust PETA or not? So I just think the movie does a really good job of still including that battle of whether or not to trust him, which I think is something really difficult to do, and I think the movie captures it really well.
Right. I mean, you look at the book and it's this really, honestly, grotesque kind of, you know, book. It's very violent, and it's for a younger audience, or at least like a teen kind of audience typically. So they have to find a way to make this movie, you know, realistic to the book and engaging for older viewers, but at the same time not
gruesome.
so gruesome that you can't have these teens watching this movie and
because it's one thing to read it, but to see it, I feel like
it's very eye-opening.
Because the book is very gruesome, and I think that was one of the main reasons and the biggest issues of why the book has been challenged so much and banned, because it's supposed to be young adult fiction. I mean, Katniss is 16, so it's young adult fiction, but it is so gruesome. And I think that's why the movies, I think it's still young adult,
Right.
but I think a lot of older generations still enjoy it as well.
Right. Well, tell me a bit about your project that you were talking about for class.
Yes, so for class, part of QLC 300 level is civic engagement. So my class hosted an event about book banning and censorship, and we took inspiration from the Hunger Games and kind of, combined the two, and we called it the Queen's Games, and the point was to learn about censorship and book banning and all that, which I think is a very key topic in the Hunger Games is censorship, but we based it around Suzanne Collins' Hunger Games, both the movie and the book, and it was really great. I think my teachers were expecting a small turnout. I remember before they were like, oh, let's hope that we can get, at least 30. Hopefully we can get 30. And we got over 100 people to show up. So
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. And I think people really enjoyed it. And I think they also learned a lot, which was the main goal, for them to enjoy it, but also actually learn about censorship and book banning.
Yeah, that's great. I have a couple fun facts here for you.
I love fun facts.
Yes, so the idea for the story came to Suzanne Collins while she was watching coverage of the Iraq War and reality TV shows. So I found that really interesting because I, didn't really connect the two, but I feel like that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
The film's success led to a significant increase in the popularity of archery. Here's one. Head hair designer Linda Flowers spent $30,000 on Katniss's lace front wigs and created over 100 braided hairstyles for the cast.
That's crazy.
$30,000.
That's a lot of money. It's interesting about I know it was your first one, but going back to the reality TV show one, because the Hunger Games is almost like it's literally a reality TV show,
right, for
the Capitol to enjoy. And I think she obviously took inspiration from reality TV and how it was how is all this reality TV going on and there's a war. I think it was like that, and I think she also took it part of, there's a Greek mythology tale.
Ooh.
And that's where the idea of because people being punished by making them fight to the death or making their kids fight to the death.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's the tale was Greek mythology, whatever it was, the king's son was at 16 was murdered, so every year on his birthday he picks from this kingdom or something like that. Don't quote me, take it with a grain of salt, but this is the general idea. He makes all the 16-year-olds battle to the death. Dang. Or something like that.
Doesn't sound right.
Or it's a lottery system, but yeah, obviously that's a very
right.
Take it with a grain of salt, basically. But that's the general idea.
That's interesting. There's a swear jar on set with co-writer and director Gary Ross saying half of it was contributed by Jennifer Lawrence, and I'm not surprised by this at all.
Yeah, either.
She's such a character. Jennifer Lawrence accidentally kicked Josh Hutcherson in the head, resulting in a concussion during filming. I'm guessing that was probably when he was in the mud. Or,
yeah, she just stepped on it.
Yeah, she probably stomped on his head.
Honestly, wouldn't be surprised.
And then, this one I think is from the second movie, but the spinning cornucopia spun at over 30 miles per hour, and the cast members had to wear motion sickness bracelets. And I think that's interesting that that's a thing that you're allowed to do, but...
Yeah, that is crazy. Could you imagine
having
to go on something spinning?
I don't think I could do that.
Do you remember at carnivals, when you were... I personally wasn't really allowed to ride on the... rides at carnivals.
I was.
I was. Probably not. Shouldn't have been. But
yeah,
I
think it was me too. And then as I got older, you probably shouldn't ride this. But the one where it's you get in it and you sat on the thing.
Yes, I love
you
those.
Lean back and it spun really fast. And
you're I was stronger and could get my neck off of
yeah.
it and see who could get in the middle.
Get all your body part. Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's what that reminds me of.
I know. I can't imagine filming during that.
Well,
that's all I have. Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
The one disappointment I have from the adaptation is the fact that the movie didn't include Madge Undersea in the original way that Katniss got the Mockingjay pin, because it's very different in the book than what happens in the movie, and I feel like it was a very big part, and it is a big part later on in the books too, and So that's my only disappointment, I think, with the adaptation.
Yeah.
Is not including that.
Well, I feel like there's so many, you know, in all these, like, book-to-movie adaptations, key points that, like, someone has to make the decision. And
For sure.
It's hard because you want everything, but,
For
like,
sure.
I think
this one's gonna come back to bite them in the butt, though, because the new movie, or it's coming out in 2026, but the new book relates that Mockingjay pin and how Katniss got it back to where the pin originally came from.
Yeah, well, then that's gonna be tough.
And it's, like, it's not super, like, I think it's something they can remove, but I think fans are gonna be very disappointed.
No,
and
totally.
fans already are, so, because they know it's not gonna be a part of it.
Right, or
unless they find some way to include it. But yeah, that's my only disappointment. But otherwise, I think the producers and directors and Suzanne Collins did a really good job in this adaptation process, and I think that's what makes me enjoy this movie so much.
Yeah. Well, thanks for talking with me about it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Anything, Sydney or Millie, you want to add? Okay. Well.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned something new and hopefully don't hate us for our opinions on your favorite or least favorite movie. If you like what you heard today, you can follow us on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere else you listen to your podcasts. Your support is what keeps this thing going, and I'd love to talk about more movies with you. Check us out next week, where we'll be discussing our next film, and feel free to comment if you have a movie you'd really love for us to discuss. Yeah, it'll be lots of fun. I'm Ruby Gilbreth, and this has been The Bigger Picture.